Hey everybody, Jake here, and today we're going to take a look at a very special pen. This is from Kaweco and Bungubox. This is a kind of project partnership between the two to create a very special pen for their ink June Bride Something Blue. So you can see here where it has that on the pen. This is really an all sport and a very limited color. They did a certain number of the gold, some of the gold trim, and a certain number with some silver trim as well. Just wanted to get that out of the way. And I picked this pen up off Mass Drop. It did come with a box of the June Bride ink. So it's my second box I have now. But we'll go and take a look at the pen, go over specs, size comparison, like, neutral, dislike. And this video is going to be fairly short because this is very similar to the Skyline Sport that I've done already. But this is a very unique pen, and I actually like it quite a bit more. The overall length of this pen is going to be 105 millimeters closed. When you open it up, the actual length of the body is 100 millimeters. The length of the nib is about 17 millimeters. The length of just the cap is 70 millimeters. It's a fairly long cap to pen ratio because this is a pocket pen. Once you post it, it comes to a much more usable 132 millimeters. And the weight of the cap's 9 grams, weight of the body is 13. So overall weight's going to be 22 grams. It is a somewhat heavy pen, especially when compared to the plastic version of the Sport. Here's a closed size comparison of some pens in a similar price range. These can be had for a similar price range to just the regular All Sport, depending on where you get them from. Or they're very similar in price range to this pen in this configuration if purchased, in America. You can see here it's a little bit smaller than the E95S, which is probably one of its closest competitions in this configuration or normal, in my opinion, if I was choosing between the two. Next to that is the Platinum 3776 Century and the Lamy 2000. You can see it's quite a bit smaller than these. Here it is next to the same pens in an open position. You can see it's very close to the E95S, and to be honest, with the little bump from the E95S, I would argue that this would probably be easier to use unposted, but it's still going to be very difficult. You can see it's just a bit shorter than the 3776, which is about the shortest I would go for an uncapped pen. And definitely shorter than the Lamy 2000 as far as grip area, because you're going to grip more likely down here. Alright, here it is next posted, again the same pens. I'm going to post the E95S as well, because more than likely this is how you're going to be using these pens. So you can see this comes up to a much more usable length, a lot closer in size, very close actually to the Lamy 2000 as far as, where you're going to grip at, here compared to, right about there. So, and you can see it dwarfs the 3776 by quite a bit. The E95S definitely goes away with a much larger, longer length. And I'll have a review coming up soon of it. But as far as long writing sessions, I would go with this one just for the size. But this is still a very usable, very nice size pen when posted. Alright guys, I want to do one last size comparison here. I'll move this down. Go ahead and bring in a Tide Pod to kind of show you. This is going to be about two and a quarter Tide Pods long. Oh no, don't guess that worked very well. Alright, as far as stuff that I like about the pen, I think the biggest thing for me is really going to be the nib and the flow. As you guys probably know, a lot of Kaweco pens have issues with baby's bottom. That's come in a lot of sizes of the pens that I've had. This is a fine nib, just because this is one that I use with my Midori Traveler's Journal, or now it's just the Traveler's Notebook or whatever it is. But I keep it just, attached to the band on there, which the clip helps a little bit on that, and we'll get to that in a minute. But it's, it's a really good nib. I haven't had any issues hard starting with it. Flows fantastic, and it's just a wonderful nib. I really enjoy writing with it. Next up for me is the aesthetic. So, a couple caveats here. You can get it in silver trim, completely up to you. I just like the gold because it contrasts really well with, kind of turquoise teal color. And also the clip is not included, which we'll get to later. But I love the way it looks. Opened or closed, really. Either one for me, feels fantastic. I like it a little bit better when it's open just because there's more gold on there. And also, it does say June Bride something blue on this side. I'll come back to that. But overall, I love this pen. And I think you would have to you know, pay for as much as it costs. Next thing I like really is the packaging. So this pen comes with a Bungubox in Kaweco tin. I'll move this to the back here. So it does say June Bride something blue and Bungubox, and it has, you know, Kaweco stamped on it. And it has this on the back. It's all fancy, which I like the gray and black contrast. It looks really, really cool to me. So you open it up, and you have this stuff. I should have asked my wife what this said. But basically it has like the telephone number and all that, you know, wonderful stuff, and some filling instructions for the pen here, with the, or not filling instructions, well, cartridge, and you know what I mean. Okay, it comes with all this stuff as well. So you get, you know, a bunch of German that I also can't read. I think some of that's in English. Here are the filling instructions for it, and it does include everything that was in that picture. We'll come back to that. You get a little Kaweco sticker, and it comes with a cartridge. I'll move this. Oh, let's see how well you can see this. Okay, so it has a spot, and the pin's laid across like this, but this pin box can very easily carry 2 Kaweco pens, whether that be, you know, Sport and a Lilliput, or 2 Sports, however you want to do it. They are shorter, but it just carries 2 pens. So if you wanted to carry this tin around with you, it's very functional for that, and it's definitely you know, durable enough for you. It is a little large for, you know, 2 pens. It also comes with this. This is just a little card. It says, you know, Kaweco X Bungubox, which is the name in Japanese. June Bride something blue. It has the date of manufacturing. I, again, didn't have this translated. I probably should have. But it's just kind of something nice that comes with it. And this all comes in a Kaweco sleeve that I've already thrown away. But the packaging is nice. And when you pay, you know, this much for a pen, you want decent packaging, especially when it's a limited edition like this. So next up, the fit and finish. This pen's done very, very, very well. And I didn't have many complaints about the fit and finish on the Skyline Sport. I had a couple with like cap wiggle and stuff. None of that is present on this pen. It's great. There's obviously no seams from injection molding because it's aluminum. There aren't going to be any, you know, injection molded seams for that. But it's just really well done. The printing's really nice on there. And one thing, I'm sure a lot of people don't give a crap about this, but this, let's see if I can get it to focus. This little Kaweco logo at the end here lines up perfectly with the little top of the, what is this, 6-sided pen? 8-sided. It lines up with the very top part of the octagonal cap pretty much perfectly, which I'm very much a fan of. It is a little off, but it's not too bad. My Sport wasn't even close, so that's wonderful. So when I'm using this pen, because I use it with the clip side up, it does, you know, point upward, which I appreciate a lot. And I use it because of the clip side, just so I can see the June Bride on the bottom. Next thing is the weight. This pen is significantly heavier than the Sport. Skyline Sport, which I was, you know, wasn't a detractor for me. I understand that some plastics can cost much more than metals, and it's not really a weight to quality thing for me. It's just a feel in hand. So I really appreciate the weight of this pen. It's very, very, very nice. I will say, one thing that might throw off some of you, the weight on this pen is significantly less than the copper Lilliput. It's ridiculous just holding the two. I mean, also, if you're curious, there's a quick size comparison. But the weight's really nice on this. It's not too heavy, but it's still very, very, very good. Next thing is going to be the size. The size of the pen's really good. You know, if you do need to do longer form writing, it's not, you know, terrible. It's not huge, and it's not super wide. It's decent enough size that you could put it in your pocket if you want to and not worry about it. I wouldn't put this pen in my pocket if you paid me. Next thing, this actually comes with a converter. As you saw from the instructions, it gives filling instructions for the converter. So this comes with a piston style Kaweco converter, and I've heard a lot of crap about the squeeze ones. I wouldn't bother with that, but this one isn't terrible. It's better to me than having to refill a cartridge every time. It also comes with another bottle, which I mentioned this in the intro, of the June Bride Something Blue ink. You guys have, probably already seen my review on that ink. It's very nice. But this ink's not cheap. And that did contribute probably a decent bit to the price. But you guys can now see the packaging for that if you're curious. But yeah, it comes with that. So that's nice as well. Which again, at this price, I would kind of freaking expect it. Next thing is interchangeable nibs. So these nib units just unscrew. And you can swap them out with any other sport. I believe the Lilliput's the exact same size if you're curious. So, if you get this pen in gold, just because you wanted the little gold, finial on the end, but you want a silver nib, or if you want an actual gold nib in this pen, which I could definitely see some people doing, they're very easy to replace. You can find them. I found some on eBay several times, how to replace them on my sport, but they're, very, very good nibs, easy to unscrew and pop back in. Alright, onto the stuff I'm kind of neutral towards. There's really only one thing, and that's the branding. I don't mind this. I love this. They put this on there because it shows that it's special edition without being too obtrusive or anything like that. Very simple white print with a very nice font. However, if you don't like that, you might not want this pen. It does replace the, Kaweco branding on the end there. There's still the end cap and the nib, or the finial on the nib that, say Kaweco. So it's a Kaweco pen, but I like how Bungubox added their own little touch to that. And it shows you, if you found one on eBay or whatever and someone didn't know what they were selling, you kind of have a much better idea of, what you're going to buy. But I can definitely see how some people might not like that. Alright, on to the dislike. Just like the neutral, there's really only one thing here, because a lot of what I said in my Skyline Sport, applies to this pen. So if you want to watch that video, I'll go a bit more in depth. But the biggest thing, and the only thing I dislike, is the price. I picked this up off Massdrop for $140. My wife actually got it for me. We were married in June, and we went to Japan for our honeymoons. This pen means a lot to me sentimentally. But if you have no sentimental attachment to this pen, $140 for some ink and a pen you can pick up for, $60 or 80, how much it is, it's a little high. If you like the ink and you like the pen, get it. But for $140, you're entering gold nib territory really, really bad. Another $10 you can get a Vanishing Point, or, Lamy 2000, or for even less, you can go on eBay, which, it's up to you, be careful. But you can get, a Platinum 3776 or a Pilot E95S. Or a lot of Pilot pens or Platinum pens. It's some Sailors too. But you gotta really like this pen to pay that much for it. It's a little much. You can, or you could, I don't know if you can any further, you could purchase this from Bungubox. When we actually went to go get, for the ink shop, to get this and my Ink of Witch bottle here, they had these for pre-order. I almost picked one up, but it was just too much for me at the time because we spent so much money over there that I was just like, nah, it's fine. I got the ink. That's enough. Came up on Massdrop. My wife asked me if I wanted it for Christmas. In a heartbeat, yes, because I was worried that I had, lost this pen. But if you like it, you find it, get it. There aren't that many of them. I believe there's a couple hundred of each color, less of the gold than there are the silver, if the woman at the store told me correctly. But the price is just astronomical for, realistically for what you're getting. So if you don't have an attachment to this pen, or you're not absolutely in love with this color, you might want to pass on this one. Alright, so this is the Kaweco and Bungubox All Sport. in the June Bride, something blue color. And I looked at the tumbled finish Kaweco All Sports for a while because I like them a lot, but I'm really glad I picked this one up. And the ink is, of course, also June Bride, something blue, which is probably one of my favorite actual colors. The ink is, decent. It's a little drier than I would like, but it's nothing to really complain about. I wrote something Bride there. Ignore me. It's something blue. But the inks, I like it quite a bit. The color's nice. And it doesn't quite match. You can see it's a little bit more blue. This pen's a little bit more green. But this pen itself is probably my favorite color, which also definitely helped with the purchasing. So, let's see. We'll go ahead and, if you watch my Skyline Sport, that nib is also in medium, or fine, I apologize. So you can see normal line with some pressure and reverse writing. So it's a fine, but Kaweco does a great job of smoothing their nibs. I've never used one that's sharp or anything like that. And it's, it's somewhat wet. It's not ridiculous. It's very in line with what I would expect from a fine. And the ink is, again, somewhat dryish. All right, on to some conclusions. Would I recommend this pen? It depends. If you like the color, you like the design, get it. That's the only option to get this color. Kaweco does not sell them. Any pens close to this color, even, they have a dark blue, but that's about it. So if you like this color and you just have to have it, pick it up. I don't think there are any more of them in circulation. You may be able to round one up from Bungubox. If not, check the secondhand market, see what they're going for. Don't overpay unless you have to have it. I don't recommend supporting scalpers, though. Different brand for a different time. I love it. It means a lot to me. And this is probably, out of all of my pens, the one I would be the most sad to lose. But, again, this is probably my favorite color. My wife got it for me, went to Japan on honeymoon. We got married in June. This is actually one of our wedding colors, if you're curious. The other one was like a dark gray, which she picked out, but I picked out this blue. So this pen, to me, symbolizes a lot. If it didn't, I don't know that I would pay $140 for it, even though I like this color. Alright, that'll be it for this one, guys. Again, if you want some more detail, definitely check out my Skyline Sport video. It's a little cringy, but if you're okay with dumb humor, check it out. There's some, actual useful information in there. But thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep an eye out for some upcoming videos. I do have some more budget pens coming up, just because I've gotten a couple, questions like, hey, you're going to do some budget pens? Because I've been doing a lot of more expensive pens. I definitely will be, because I can't keep affording these expensive pens. So I have several budget pens coming up I'm going to do, and I'll get back into more expensive stuff after the pen show in April in Atlanta. But we'll definitely have some content to keep you guys busy. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to, check out my Instagram and Patreon down in the description. It would mean a lot if you were to, even glance at it, even if you're not going to contribute. But thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for upcoming videos. Thanks, guys. Bye.